So, this is different. Well, hello, friends and fans. I did not expect my Woody Theory video to skyrocket this hard, especially when we had only, 1 week before Deltarune Chapter 3 and 4 came out. But I guess you could say that was the, best time to post a video like that. We all got a chance to bid our final goodbye to one of the greatest Deltarune theories of all time. Though, I guess it's not goodbye just yet. But yeah, still. I was thinking my video would realistically get like 100 views, maybe 1,000 if I was lucky or something. But nope, over 100,000 views by the end of that week. Oh my god. So, to that, I must say, thank you, everyone, for watching the Woody Theory video. I am just so happy that it got the traction that it did, but especially before the new chapters came out. I got to finally share with the Deltarune fandom my list of actually compelling evidence for Woody Theory that made it just so believable to me, as well as the mass hysteria that I experienced every time that I saw something even slightly related to it. Like, no joke, I was kind of just seeing it everywhere at a certain point, and I just needed to get it all out of my system through a video or something. But not only am I glad to have shared my insanity with you all, I am also just so grateful and excited to have seemingly found an audience here on YouTube, or just an audience anywhere in general online, who's willing to stick around and watch what I possibly make in the future. I don't even remember how many subscribers I had before Woody Theory came out. Maybe like 30? Jumping to nearly 2,000 is wild. Again, thank you all for finding my take on Woody Theory entertaining, and I hope my Let's Plays haven't been too bad either. I've really tried to kick up the editing quality for Deltarune Chapter 4, and I'll continue to improve even more in the future, surely. And speaking of the future, well, I'll talk about that a little later. Same for Woody Theory. I still have a few little comments I want to make on that. As of right now, though, I want to take some time to give you guys a sort of introduction to myself. Now that I have a larger audience, I want to give you guys the chance to know me a little bit better. So, hello. I'm the Angel of Art, but you can just call me Angel. I'm not just a guy who plays games for YouTube, but, as the name should greatly imply, I'm an artist. Take a look at some of these beautiful drawings I've created over the years. Also, as any dedicated artist would, I have lots of OCs, or original characters, like these. You can learn more about them by checking my profile on Artfight, but I'm bound to share even more about them on my other social medias as I continue to make more art of them all. You'll see. Speaking of which, here are all my socials. I don't post things very often outside of my art, really because not a lot of people really see my posts, but if these accounts gain enough traction in the future, I'll probably feel motivated to post more. At the very least, I'll continue to post my art. Now, if you'd like to know more about my gaming interests, my favorite game ever at the moment is almost always Minecraft, though Deltarune is a confident second place. I also love Omori, In Stars and Time, Splatoon, Terraria, just a bunch of different games, though some of them have been very much out of my radar for a while as opposed to Minecraft and Deltarune, but of course, I still love all of these games. As for TV shows, I love Steven Universe, The Amazing Digital Circus, Amphibia, and again, a bunch of other shows, but those are probably my top 3 right now. And lastly, for movies, my favorite series would definitely have to be Pirates of the Caribbean, mainly the first three. I was also a pretty big Sam Raimi Spider-Man fan when I was a kid, and I enjoyed all three of the movies. Yes, even Spider-Man 3. In fact, it was probably the one I replayed most on my TV. Now, I don't want to just keep naming off movies I've seen, because we'd just be here forever, so I'll just name the movies I saw this past year or so and leave it at that, because I still want to talk about them. Back in July, I went to go see the new Superman movie. While I'm definitely more of a Spider-Man and Batman fan, I've really gotten into the idea of Superman and his unending hope for the world, and I really loved his movie too. I'm very excited to see how this new DC cinematic universe will go. And speaking of cinematic universes, I also went to go see Fantastic Four. I was actually never a part of the MCU hype of the 2010s, with my first time seeing an MCU movie being Spider-Man Far From Home. But Fantastic Four was a very fun watch, and getting an accurate adaptation of Galactus was really cool to see. Another movie I saw last year was a Minecraft movie. Okay, here we go. I like a Minecraft movie, but it's like 50% ironic and 50% unironic, okay? I just found it really fun to see an official live-action depiction of a Minecraft world. Even though some of the animals looked very weird, I loved how the piglins and villagers looked, and the set and prop design was pretty top-notch. I mean, Mumbo Jumbo himself literally helped with the redstone design.
Yes, I think the villagers looked good.
But anyways, I'm actually pretty optimistic about the upcoming sequel. Not that I think it'll be much better than the first, but I really want to see more of a Minecraft world depiction in live action. Especially more mobs like the Wardens, Striders, and Allays. Like, come on, Allays are my favorite mob in the game. I want to see what weird and wacky makeover they would get in live action. Which, on the subject of sequels, I also really enjoyed the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie. More than the first one, actually. Which somehow seems like a much hotter take than liking the Minecraft movie at this point. Now, before anyone gets mad at me, I need to make it perfectly clear. I know that both the Five Nights at Freddy's and Minecraft movies have a lot of flaws, and I wouldn't consider either of them to be masterfully written films. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I still had lots of fun watching them. I'm not very critical with movies and shows, and I've been a fan of both Minecraft and FNAF since I was a kid, and hearing FNAF 2 open with the Toreador March genuinely gave me chills that night. And Let's Minecraft is so freaking stupid. But I kinda love it. And like, come on. Everybody's gotta have at least one thing they like that's not very popular. It's your own interests, and you should never feel ashamed of liking what makes you happy, as long as you're not hurting anyone. Anyways, I think that's well over enough of an introduction for me. Now it's on to our next topic. Let's take a look back at the video that brought us all here. So, Woody theory, huh? Well, what the heck? Okay. I already went over how crazy it felt seeing my version of Woody Theory take off, but now I want to talk about the making of the video, as well as my thoughts on the theory now that Chapter 3 is out. First thing I want to say is, the video was absolutely meant to be taken as half of a joke and half of a genuine attempt to convince people that the theory was going to be true. And based on the comments I saw, I feel like I executed that idea pretty well. Like, I never saw anyone ever make connections like Snowy mentioning the Cowboys, or how Asgore and Azrael say howdy, or that Undyne's job in Undertale is basically that of a sheriff. But at the same time, I also saw that scene in Toy Story 2 that could tie back to Jevil and Spamton, that the character Mike TV was a cowboy, why Spamton just randomly says the word schmoes for some reason, like I swear, I only ever heard that word come from Toy Story, and the amazing digital circus connections. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I think my Woody Theory video is almost perfect. I rewatched it recently, and I'm still very proud of how it came out. However, if there's one part of the video that I don't really like and I wish I could change, it would be the whole Kane equals friend equals Spamton equals Alex Roshan bit. because I realized I actually didn't go insane enough. I forgot to include stuff that would have done a better job at building up to that moment, rather than just immediately dropping off the deep end. Because, you see, the Wild West comment Kane made wasn't the only connection I started making between the Amazing Digital Circus and Deltarune. There were plenty of other things I saw in episodes prior that I should have mentioned in the video leading up to that insane moment, but I just forgot to include them. This first connection being, the circus already kind of gave me Dark World vibes in episode 1, what with it being like a video game and everyone having these altered physical forms, and even having a character native to the realm who acts like this world's boss. The connections then really got linked to Woody Theory in episode 2 when Gummigoo, a yellow and green colored cowboy character, found out that he's not actually real, which is was a trait that we theorized was shared between the secret bosses. Now, I did eventually realize that Gummigoo is not a cowboy, but rather an Australian outback type of character, but calling out that he's yellow like the yellow cowboy soul from Undertale, and green like the green soul I predicted was going to be part of the Woody boss, it all sounds very insanely hilarious to me.
It's not like the boss to vanish with a clown. Very unusual.
Then, in episode 3, we realize that King regains his memories back when he's in the dark. Kind of like how Jevil and Spamton were tied to darkness in some way, and having their boss fights in the basement of their dark worlds, and darkness itself seemingly having some kind of connection to otherworldly awareness about Deltarune's world. And hey, Kinger and Pomni were in the basement here, so...
Also, I think it is very, very hilarious that in episode 5, that came out soon after my Woody Theory video came out, Kane mentioned a magical chocolate factory. He mentioned a magical chocolate factory. So that made me go a little insane whenever that episode dropped.
But yeah, imagine if all of that was at the end of my Woody Theory video. Like, oh my god, I wish I remembered to include it. But sadly, I forgot about it all, and so the Kane friend thing was the only part of the video that I don't really like. And I think it's also part of the video where I completely lost some people. But that's honestly kind of hilarious. Like, I lost people at the very last point. But yeah, making my Woody Theory video was still very fun regardless, and I'm still so grateful for all the attention it got. Thank you all again for watching it. But with all that said and done, how exactly did Woody Theory fare against the release of Deltarune Chapter 3? Oh, you little shit. Yeah, sadly, Woody Theory didn't make it. And it's all still just a strange fever dream to me. Chapter 3 and 4 broke up a lot of our expectations about Deltarune's future. Like, Woody, the secret boss? Nah man, we're fighting the Knight. And then in Chapter 4, we fought a freaking Titan. So, yeah, Woody Theory is dead and buried. And we all got really close to getting some spicy quiz questions alluding to a certain canceled cowboy show, but it was very sadly cut. But like, oh my god, could you imagine my reaction to seeing this? But hey, look on the bright side. We actually did get those 2 minutes of mildly entertaining shootout action. It turns out it didn't get canceled after all. And we also got lore about a cowboy show that Asgore likes that I missed on my playthrough. Oh my god, again, imagine if I saw this. And in Chapter 4, we got the piano Easter egg, and Jongler cosplaying as a cowboy in honor of Woody Theory, even saying a line referring to certain friends on the inside. And it's just so cool to see that. Seeing a theory I really believed for a long time, as crazy as it was, getting immortalized forever in Deltarune. But wait, what's that ringing I hear? Yeah. It turns out Woody Theory lives.
Somehow returned.
To give a very quick rundown, this Neo-Woody Theory revolves around Asgore. It seems very likely that Chapter 5 is going to be in Flower King, and Tenna told us that Asgore likes this one cowboy puppet show, but that the show was cancelled. And the fact that there's an old TV in Asgore's room... Oh god.
Japan? No, I can't go to Japan.
But I think that's enough Woody Theory for now. Now, it's time for the second reason this video exists. That being, telling you all what my plans are for the channel, now that I have more motivation to put more effort into it. Or, well, I guess that leads me to say something that's pretty important. Making YouTube videos is not a top priority for me. There's a few reasons for this. Firstly is I'm still in college, so that'll definitely be keeping me busy. Second, there's just stuff that I want to do that isn't made specifically for YouTube. Not every game that I play is going to be turned into a series, and I obviously want to keep making my art, which I'm not very interested in making speed paint videos of. And third, I don't really want to become a full-time YouTuber anyways. Now, if I somehow continue to rise in popularity and it becomes a genuinely maintainable career for myself, I might consider it. But becoming a YouTuber is not my dream. My dream is... something else. Not entirely disconnected from YouTube, but I don't want making videos to take too much away from it. But, of course, don't get me wrong. I still want to keep making videos, and I want to put more effort into the channel compared to previous years. I want to take the opportunity I've been given with this platform and share my thoughts on the things that I like, play the games that I like, and document my experience. And, in the future, promote what is my main goal in life. But, yeah, I thought all that would be important for you guys to know. With that out of the way, though, let me tell you what my real plans are for the channel in the hopefully near future, starting with some Let's Play ideas. Despite knowing part of the ending, I otherwise know very little about the game One Shot. I've been meaning to play it for years at this point, but since then, I've committed myself to playing it as it was originally intended, in one shot. Given how long the game apparently is, tacked on with another issue I have when making Let's Plays, getting interrupted mid-recording, there's a reason I haven't gotten to it yet, but I promise, I will find a time to play it, someday. Another game I've considered doing a Let's Play of is Hylix, both 1 and 2. Like One Shot, I kind of already know the endings for both games, but I'm still very interested in playing it, since the protagonist Wayne is usually grouped with Omori, Frisk, and a bunch of other indie RPG characters that I know. The art style is also very weird and unique, like I've never seen any other game look like this. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do a Let's Play of it sometime soon. Plus, Hylix 3 is currently in development. And it's been in development for quite a while, in fact, so it'll be fun to get caught up on the series in preparation for that. There's one last game that I want to mention for now, and it's a game that I am very excited to play on the channel. Hollow Knight Silksong. I tend to forget that Hollow Knight sits comfortably in my top 10 favorite games of all time. My experience with the game was a very special one, and I'm sure many others can say the same. I'm very excited to see what Farloom has in store, and how much more lively the world could be compared to Hollow Nest. However, as excited as I am to play Silksong with you guys, editing the episodes might pose a little bit of a headache. Mainly because Hollow Knight's a Metroidvania, a game with lots of backtracking, getting lost, and wandering around in silence looking for stuff to collect, leading to what's probably my least favorite part of editing, cutting stuff out. There could be a lot of jump cuts I'd have to make during an episode, which might get very tedious because I often debate on what's worth cutting out or not. Like, is 1 minute of me not talking really that bad? Is it important for y'all to know that I got a collectible, and is that worth keeping in a 5-second clip, or should that just be cut out? I don't know. I'll figure out what to do whenever I get there, but rest assured, I am not letting these small annoyances get in the way of a game that I'm still very excited to play. Anyways, I think that's it regarding Let's Plays for now. There are a few other games I thought of mentioning here, but I don't want to make too many promises. And besides, it's better off leaving some of these games as a surprise, isn't it? But now, here we are at the fun part. My plans for future video essays. I mentioned earlier wanting to use this channel to share the thoughts on the things that I like. And, well, I always have lots of thoughts about my favorite game ever, Minecraft. I've got several different ideas for videos, the simplest being a basic review series on future content drops and updates. In them, I'd share my thoughts on the update, give you guys tips on what you could do with the new content, and maybe brainstorm what other drops we might see in the near future. But with how frequent and small the drops are though, I don't know if I want to commit to making reviews for every single one of them. I'll have to see how easy they are to make, but I might not end up making these. Who knows? By contrast, a series I definitely want to make is Minecraft Update Ideas. I've been playing this game for over 11 years now, and over that time, I've come up with so many new ideas for content. I also feel like I've gained a pretty good understanding of how Mojang designs Minecraft now, as I've watched so many videos of the developers talking about the work they do on the updates. I highly recommend you guys give them a watch yourselves. And lastly, there's this other Minecraft video I thought of making. But if I do decide to move forward with it, it will be a massive undertaking. And I'm going to need to do a lot of research to make sure that I have my facts straight. And when it comes out, it might rile up a storm. But that's all I'll say about it for now. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of Minecraft videos I want to do, but there's a few more miscellaneous video ideas that I have. I am not going to share the specifics though, because they're at the very bottom of the priority list for me. All you should know is that they cover more broad topics that would still be related to video games or just any other thing that I find interesting. Also, just to add this real quick, I understand that I'd probably be making quite a big pivot into making Minecraft videos when I gained a lot of subscribers from my Deltarune video. I'm sorry if there's not a lot of people who would be interested in that, but ultimately in the long term, I find myself more interested in talking about Minecraft than Deltarune. I was going to do a second Woody Theory video, but I am currently doing this voiceover on June 12th, so that is far beyond saving. I just don't have the time.
What?
Just give me a chance! Just give me a chance!
But I do have at least one other Deltarune video idea. But I'll definitely want to try and be very respectful about it because of the subject matter. So this video might happen, I'll have to see. The window for finishing it is the release of Deltarune Chapter 7, so I probably have plenty of time, but if I wanted the video to be good, I would have to learn to make music on FL Studio. And with everything else on my plate already, I don't know if I'll have the time, but I'll keep it in mind. And that's it. Those are all my ideas for future content for the channel, at least for now. I hope some of them sound interesting to you, and it tempts you to stick around and watch them. But after all of that, I do still want to reiterate, YouTube is not a top priority for me, and all these plans I just laid out probably amount to the next year or two of video content from me, though I would hope not. I'd love to keep making videos for you guys and make work on all the promises I just made. I just really need to fight my procrastination and find a system that'll get me to make these much faster. At the very least, I want to try and find a way to keep making them on the side while I focus on my main projects. Oh, one last thing. I don't know how else I could have brought this up, but How do you guys like this new avatar I made for the channel? I've drawn up a bunch of different expressions that I can use, and there's a few more that are on the way. But I think these will be really nice additions to future video essays of mine. And I think that's it. That's pretty much everything that I wanted to say in this first ever update video of mine. Again, I don't really know how frequent my upload schedule will be and how much time I'll be putting into the channel just yet, but trust me, I want to keep entertaining you all for years and years to come. But there's always been something else I need to be working on. Something important. It's already been so long. I'm sometimes not even sure if I'll be able to make it on my own. What with all the procrastination that I let into my life. I mean, this video was even meant to come out on New Year's Eve, and look at when we are now. If I ever want to make it, if I ever want to make it, I just need to. I have to. Just. Wake up. This video was meant to come out way earlier. I wasn't kidding when I said that this was supposed to be a New Year's Eve video. But so many things got in the way over these past few months, and I kept putting it off over and over and over. Even when I'd set my own deadlines and upload dates, I just kept missing them. I seriously considered scrapping the video entirely. It just started to not feel worth it anymore. But I chose to finish it anyways, because from the beginning, I knew what I wanted to do with this video. More important than any introduction or sharing of interests or any future video ideas. I chose to make this video because I've put off something for so long, and I needed to make a promise to myself, one that I could no longer step back on. And so, here we are. These past few years have been exhausting, to say the least. A lot of things have happened that most of us would much rather forget. And this year, it feels like it's gotten even more overwhelming and uncertain. It sometimes just makes me wish I could just escape it all. But in all that darkness, we can still find those shreds of light in the worlds we create for ourselves, in the bonds that we form with them, and in those precious memories that we make and hold on to in our minds. Be sure to cherish them. If I may, one memory I'm sure many of us made last year was celebrating Undertale's 10th anniversary. It's a memory where we all got to look back at the year 2015 and remembered a quirky little indie game that changed our world forever. But something else happened in 2015 that I will never forget. I wish I knew what day it was. It was the day where my world was changed forever. But sadly, I don't think I'll ever remember when exactly that was. But one day, now 11 years ago, I had a dream. In my dream, I was sitting at a desk or a table of some kind. It was outside for some reason, but I had one of those makeshift roofs that you could set up outdoors. It was very dark. I couldn't really see what was out there. On my desk or table, there was a laptop. I was able to look into it somehow, and what I saw coming from the other side was a camera system. I can't remember how many places I looked, but based on what I do remember seeing, I seemed to be at some kind of amusement park. But when I pulled my vision away, there were I woke up and wondered to myself that morning, what a strange dream. But then I thought, wouldn't it be fun if I turned that dream into a game? I could never have imagined how important that dream was. I guess what I've been meaning to say for a very long time now is my dream is not to become a YouTuber. My dream is to become a game developer. If it wasn't obvious, that dream I had was very much influenced by Five Nights at Freddy's. I was a massive fan of the games back then. It was the first time I got into something so impactful to the internet so early on in its life. And after seeing countless fan games get made of it at the time, and then experiencing that dream, I thought about making a fan game of my own. I drew up characters, I began writing a story, and I thought of gameplay mechanics, though they were quite derivative of those from your average Five Nights at Freddy's fan game. But it was my story, my characters, and my world. And yet, that game never ever came to be. That doesn't mean it'll never get made, though. It just wouldn't be too similar to Five Nights at Freddy's anymore. It'll be unique enough so it could stand on its own. And besides, that isn't the only game I've been wanting to make for the past 10 years. There is this other game One that originated from that first idea, yes, but it has grown to become so much more different than it, so much bigger than it, so much dreamier than it. There is just so much about it that I would love to tell all of you, but I can't. This game is still far, 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 far away from being completed. But one day, it will be made. It has to be made. And when it does, you'll all get to experience my story, my characters, and my world. Though, I guess if you looked in the right places, you may have already met some of them. So, until then, I really need to keep learning how to make games. And I've heard of the cautionary tale that you should never make your dream game first. So, I've come up with some ideas for smaller games, ones that I can make more quickly and share with others to help get my name out there. And, I mean, what's to say YouTube can't help me there too? But then, and only then, when I feel absolutely ready, the time will come for me to finally make my dream game. My Deltarune. And that, friends and fans, is the promise that I want to make with this video. That is why I chose to finish it, even after so long. I wanted to tell you all that one day, you'll all get to see what I've been wanting to make for the past 11 years now. And I promise, with all my heart, that all of you will love the world that I've created. So, friends, fans, and all future dreamers, please have patience, because if there's anything that I learned in these past few years, it would be that